Miss Caroline Brown, who is here to tell us more about what we can do with things you have at home and how you can stare at the sun without hurting your peepers.
Absolutely, because I mean, that's the most important thing. Even when there's an eclipse, if the sun is partially blocked, you can
still can hurt.
It can still hurt. And the thing is, your retinas don't have pain sensors. So you might not notice that you could be causing permanent damage to your retina.
I didn't know that.
That is a big concern. So first you will need to gather your equipment. It's really easy. You just need a shoebox. You need some tape, aluminum foil, scissors, and some paper. That easy.
Does it matter the size of the shoebox?
Shoebox size does not matter. But I will say, ideally, you don't have a shoebox that has a hole in it in the back. A lot of shoeboxes do have that. That's not going to be ideal.
So a sealed shoebox is best.
A sealed shoebox, that's going to be best. So first things first is you're just going to start by cutting 2 holes inside of your shoebox. So 2 small rectangles. That's what you're going to.
Those right there.
That's what you're going to end up cutting. And so this is going to be actually what the sun ends up shining through. It'll end up shining through these 2 boxes that we're making. So we're just making 2 easy to make holes here.
Here, you want me to hold that so we're not
that would be
slicing
wonderful.
up? All right.
So we're not slicing up. We brought an X-Acto knife, but really any sort of scissors, whatever you want, it will all work just as well.
And now, what about this? Yeah, exactly. Don't be hanging out with the X-Acto knife by yourself. That's for sure. What about the size of the hole, Caroline? Does it really matter?
So the size of the hole doesn't really matter. I would recommend a smaller hole. That's going to make it a lot easier when it comes to putting the foil over the hole. But really, whatever works easiest for you, and then you can just punch out those holes. So we have 1 hole there.
Boom.
And then we're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So while I'm cutting this other hole, Justin's going to start with step number 2. Step 2 is you're going to want to cut a piece of foil that's going to be larger than this hole. So that's why we're making our hole rather small here.
Now, why are we using foil versus like a plastic wrap or something like that?
So that's actually a really good question. When it comes to the sun, all of those beams, they come in at straight lines there. So this is going to reflect only that one beam of light in a circular pattern once we end up piercing our aluminum foil. It's also not going to allow the light to shine through, and it's going to keep it dark. So if you use anything else, you can get a little bit more of that light refraction.
So basically defeats the purpose.
Defeats the purpose, but if you want to use something else, such as a cardboard plate, that's no issue either. So we now have our 2 holes in this box. Justin is doing a great job of cutting our aluminum foil.
There's a lot of pressure.
And this is the hardest part, the cutting of the squares. So now we have our aluminum foil. We're just going to tape it on the right side of the box here. It doesn't really matter which side, but that's the side we're going to be using. And you just want to tape it down, and you want to tape it flat. That's another benefit of using aluminum foil, is that it's thin, it's easy. So now we have this taped down flat. And at this point,
you need 2 or just 1?
Just 1. At this point, we now have it taped. And our next step here is you're going to make your pinhole. This is for the pinhole projector. So this is going to be where the light shines through. So just make 1 perfect circular hole here in the aluminum foil.
Like that?
Exactly like that. So now we have the pinhole placed here. That's been pierced through. And now we're going to just very quickly also put inside the box, we're going to end up putting just a little bit of paper. This is what we put onto the back side of this. And this allows the projection to come through.
So it bounces off the paper and...
So it bounces off the paper, because if not, you likely have a very dark shoebox here. So then we put the paper here, and we can tape that down here. A lot of tape is going to be involved, but kids love tape. Kids love tape.
My kids love tape. But they did when they were kids.
So we tape it down.
I'll tape the other side. You get that.
So we're going to tape it down. And then the next step here is you're going to be able to bring it outside. You'll put the lid on this, and then you'll place your back towards the sky. So let's actually take max 1 full so you get a better idea of what this is going to look like. We have our pinhole projector. So after you've already taped your paper towards the back of our shoebox here, you shut the lid. And then we're going to head outside during the solar eclipse. So you're going to place your back to the sun, look through our open hole that we have here, and then you're going to see the sun reflected through that hole. So once the eclipse starts to move through, you can safely view it inside your box without having to worry about any permanent sun damage. It's just a simple pinhole projector.
So cool.
Pretty cool. And
that's really neat. And super easy, too.
Super easy.
It took, what, 3 minutes we just did that?
3 minutes to make a pinhole projector. So
wow.
you could be looking like this.
There you go.
And you're going to see the solar eclipse.
Look at that.
That's awesome.
Rock, dude. That was awesome.
Thank you. Noon on Sunday. That's when Saturday. That's
Saturday.
when you need to do it.
That's right. Yeah, and I expect by the time, because this front's moving fast, clouds should clear by easily late Friday night. I think it will be perfect weather. Oh, and what we were going to tell people too is that Anthony has written up a lot of really good articles on this. You can learn more about what annular eclipse means versus a total eclipse and where to see it. The one that's coming next year as well, the big one across Texas. So if you want more of that, click to Houston.com. All you got to do is type eclipse up into the search button there, and it's got all kinds of really good stuff. He's worked really hard on it.
And if you do make any of these, please send them in to Click to
Cliff 2 Pins, yeah, let's see them.
We'd love to see them.
That's great.
We're really excited about the solar eclipse.
I'm also impressed with your 3D animation.
I know.
Very helpful.